All right, fellas, just when we thought we knew what was going on, let me square you up here. Just when we found out, when we thought we found out what was going on, boom, here we go. Now we're getting a four-door Mustang. What is going on? I have no idea, but I did a little research. I think we've kind of found out maybe why. Okay, I heard speculation of this, which, you know, you hear rumors of anything and everything, really. And anyways, so I thought this car was going to be called the GT4 for four-door, you know, a spin-off of the GT3, but I guess Ford has filed a patent for the nameplate of Mach 4. Okay, this is about to get super weird. So we're gonna have muscle. I don't even think this is gonna be like a muscle car. You know what I mean? Like the era of muscle car. I don't even know what we're gonna call this era, because this is gonna be freaking weird. Because I specifically remember when GM killed off the Malibu and the Impala, they said four-door sedans just aren't selling, they're not the craze. Now they're back. How weird is a four-door Mustang? First off, I read the article that says that the Camaro is gonna have its quotations, I'm giving it quotations, its own manual transmission. So I don't know if the Mustang, this Mach 4, I don't know if we're gonna have a two-door variant run in production along the side of a four-door variant, and is the four-door variant even gonna get its own manual on the Mustang side? Wow, this is bizarre times we're living in here, because now we're gonna have a mid-engine car or a four-door car. This is not quite the example of eating with the fork or the spoon here. Now it's, I don't know what's going on, but I'm kind of waiting to see what's coming from Buick. Nonetheless, we're talking about Camaro Mustang today. These two have always been rivals pretty much since day one, since the 60s. So, and I don't think that this is gonna change going into the 2020s, 2030s. So speaking of that, you know, if the car comes back 2027, usually the Camaro has a run of 9-10 years. So we should have something into 2035, 36, maybe 37. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, so I read this article, and this article with just this little tid snippet bit, I almost overlooked it, but it clicked the, oh my God, I remember reading that a long time ago in the GM Authority. And I'll put the article up here. It says, Ford CEO Jim Farley says company always looks at the used car market. This is kind of like a peek behind the curtain as to how they kind of like look into the future as to the demand of the body style, because GM Authority, I mean, I've been reading it for a while. We just don't get information like this. They kind of just give us fluff to just here's something, see you tomorrow. So if you scroll down a little bit further into the article, just below, I think, which is the old outgoing Ford Fusion, the first third of the paragraph, it says, I look at it always, why? Because it's twice as big as the new market. It's also a better predictor of what consumer behavior is because the prices are lower for used cars. I did a video a while back of kind of listing that the new car market is pretty much exclusively like a wealthy game anymore. So I kind of broke it down as to the price brackets of which they're targeting new markets. So unless you're like among the richer class or the better off or whatever, you know, ordering a new car, $100,000 and more, really is not in the picture for a lot of people today. So it kind of makes sense. The bigger, you know, it's kind of like a pyramid. The bigger the, you know, the further down you go, the bigger spread you're gonna get. It's kind of like a focus group, and you don't even have to really pay, or nobody knows that you're watching it. Farley went on to say, and so you get to see the market play out before it actually does. It's super instructional when our capital cycle 4 years or 5 years, we have to make these decisions way in advance where the market goes. And that's right on par with, I mean, big corporations like this, they're thinking a decade or more down the road. Like that's when they're making their decisions, when they're, you know, coming up with these plans as to where to take the market and how they're going to push the brand or what they're going to, any changes that they're going to incorporate in their company, they're thinking 10 plus years down the road. So that's right. I mean, that's right in line. That's believable. That's kind of the way I see that these big manufacturers working and functioning. But this last little part was actually what caught me the most. It was the most informative. It says, Farley was right about the new versus used market. In 2025, Americans purchased just over 16 million vehicles, while the value-oriented shoppers bought about 38 million. 16 million new, 38 million used. Well, I would say 16 million, it's a blend. New, higher upper echelon, you know what I'm saying? Probably 50, 60,000, that average and up. And then we've got the, 40, 30, 20, 15, into the teens, lower pyramid. So yeah, I mean, he's right on. It's just over twice as big. 38 million used cars during the same period. In the fourth quarter, the Ford Fusion was one of the most popular vehicles, with sedans dominating the top 10 list. Say discontinued Ford passenger cars are also popular across the pond too. Yeah, I don't know how that ties into us, but it's still, it's still market share, human behavior. Cars get imported and exported all the time too. Ford Fiesta, Ford Focus were among the UK's top 10 most popular used cars of 2025. Okay, so that got me thinking. There's the sauce. That's pretty much why I think what inspired the Camaro to come out as a four-door, now the Mustang. Now, coming full circle with this, when I said I had the aha moment where it's like, oh my God, I remember reading that. Back when I had my 2019 Camaro 1SS 1LE OJ, I know a lot of you remember, but I remember reading an article, and it was October 28th, 2021. And it says, Chevy Camaro amongst the cars with the best resale value. I think it was like maybe less than a year later, and it was November 17th, 2022. I don't know why I remember reading this, but the light bulb went off, and it pretty much goes that they're watching, they're monitoring. So this was pretty much before the hiatus was coming. They knew, like I said, well in advance that this car was going to come back. This was when the EV crap was going on, the big push, and nobody knew exactly what the future held for cars as far as the manufacturing, because they had these ridiculous, just absurd, stupid, pretty much painting everybody into a corner, an impossible corner to get out of. Regardless, everything worked out great. So as long as we keep it this way and keep on the same track, then we'll be good. So Chevy knew that this was coming long down the road if they were going to make a comeback. Like I said, Mary Barra came on in 2014. I think they knew that this car was going to come back. It's been a strong name. It's been among the lineup for decades. They tried to take a lot of the Chevelle, the Impala, the Malibu, the Nova, all these other, super popular cars, 60s, 70s, 80s. And I think they, used them as a guinea pig, played games with them, and they just fizzled out and pretty much the nameplate or the popularity, the following died off. But the Camaro has been around for, I would say it's right up there with Corvette to me. I think it's just as synonymous. I think it's just as recognizable. I think the following is just as big, if not bigger, than Corvette. But like I said, biased opinion. It's just my personal opinion. I think that this is how we got to the point to where we're at. They're just watching the used car market. But my question to you is why? Because here's the thing. They axed off, and Ford did this too. They axed off all cars, not just two-door cars, but they axed off all cars, coupes, sedans, all of them. Because there for a while, the SUVs were the big push, and that was the big craze, and everybody wanted SUV. So they were trying to get these, crossover type vehicles, and, the sedans fell off, and now I guess they're making a resurgence. Maybe it was the price. I did kind of like a little investigation. I looked at some SS's. So pretty much from what I'm finding, MSRP, what they were sold at, the Chevrolet SS, they're still kind of holding that value. For the good, I'll call them low mile cars, you know, 20, 30, 40,000 mile or less cars. I think that they're holding their value. But the Camaro was the same way, except for like super exclusive cars. Like, I mean, you're always gonna have like the Panther edition, the Garage 56. I think there was like a Hennessy. I just checked eBay. It's all in one. It's just a one-stop shop. You can just kind of check everything. Double up, check it yourself. But it seems like the four-door market's holding strong. Maybe the shoppers or the demographic that is shopping in that lower tier of an automotive vehicle, maybe they're just needing a four-door car. And they want kind of like the Swiss Army knife of automotive vehicles, which would be V8, four doors, all kinds of goodies, and go fast, look cool, and call it done. I think that this plays a huge part as to why we're getting four-door Camaro, and now a four-door Mustang. So tell me what you guys think. I'll see you guys in the comments. We'll see you guys on the next video. Have a good day. Later.